How do you actually know your real market price then, Dr. Orion?
Back to the book.
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. It's in the book. So I have a whole chapter on the sexual marketplace value because it's a very contentious and misunderstood topic. And so I actually split it up into 3 different types of value. And to answer your question, I think it's the third type that speaks most directly to that objective value, which I call transacted sexual marketplace value. It's like no one really knew how much that athlete's talent was worth until he signed the contract for $500 million, at which point he was worth $500 million. You might argue that he should have been worth less, but he could get $500 million, so he was worth $500 million. If he got $300 million, he'd be worth $300 million. If he got $800 million, he'd be worth $800 million. Everything is just hypothetical until money changes hands on some level. Then we actually know exactly what something is worth. And so transacted sexual marketplace value looks at the type of people and the quality of relationships that you've been able to attract in the past on some level. And that's, I think, the closest metric that we have to where somebody might reside in the sexual marketplace.
Well, let's say then you had a bad history of relationships. You were anxious, for example, especially as a man an anxious man might have been intentionally picking low value, low effort partners. You've gone through your work, you've gone to the gym, worked with Dr. Orion, you worked with Adam, you're good to go now. Technically, your price has gone up. You've upgraded. How do you know your price now if all of your past relationships have not been to your best quality?
I do talk about how you kind of average it from the most recent relationships in the past, which would be skewed in this example, right? But to continue on with the transacted sexual marketplace value, so the guy's made some improvements. So how much has he improved? Well, we don't really know until we see how bad of a woman he could pull on some level. So like, what kind of woman is he now attracting with his self-development? Is she more physically beautiful? Is she more stable? Is she giving him more of what he wants and less of what he doesn't? In which case we can say that he has increased his value in the eyes of his audience.
An auction, in essence.
Because it's exactly. The milk,
$10, $12.
The cat decides what milk is good. The cat decides what milk is good. You can't say, I went to the gym 4 times a week for 4 years, so therefore I'm this much much higher in the sexual marketplace. It's like it's for the women to decide that in the heterosexual auction. And it's for the men to decide that on the women. And that makes people very uncomfortable. They'd like to be able to dictate their own price.